out today is two things to celebrate, Jayna.
Oh, what could that be?
Well, Star Trek Day, which all of you who know I was geek before it was chic.
I was too. I was right there with you.
It's your birthday on Star Trek Day.
It is.
Wow.
So live long and prosper just means something totally different to me now. And I feel like I need to work harder on my birthday for this coolness level. So I am thrilled because I'm celebrating two of my favorite things.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Star Trek.
I thank you. Yeah, no, when I was a kid and I found out that Star Trek Day was like literally the same as my birthday, it was just like this is I was meant to be born on this day. This was supposed to be this way.
And you and I are meant to be friends for the rest of our lives.
And we knew that immediately.
We did. It was sort of like, are you also weird? That same kind of weird?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
And when you find the same kind of weird, like you know it right away. And it's amazing.
Yeah. And it's been working really well, y'all.
Yes, it has.
It's been working really well.
Yes, it has. Well, I also want to take a moment to introduce what I think has to be the cutest guest we have ever had on Off the Shelf, and I am not being fresh. I'm talking about therapy dog Daisy is in the studio today. She is adorable. She's here with her very special human, Terri Lester. And Terri, we are so thrilled to have you and Daisy here today.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having us. Daisy is delighted to meet you.
Oh, thank you. We were delighted to meet her.
She's always happy to come and greet people. So
she is a beautiful
I keep
girl.
getting lost in those big brown eyes. Oh my goodness.
And the two of you are at the heart of one of our favorite programs, which is PAWS for Reading, and that is PAWS, not PAUSE. But it's where kids get to spend some time reading to a therapy dog, which is exactly what Daisy is. And we're going to be talking about that in the second half of the show, but we are so grateful that you come in and do that program because it is wonderful.
It is a great program. We're having so much fun with it.
Oh, we're so glad to hear that. Okay, how about if we dive into some books? Molly,
Let's dive into books.
What have you been reading?
Just going to shock you all. I'm bringing another cozy mystery in. But this one's different. I swear, no yarn, no cats, no librarians.
What?
Anywhere in the book, I know, but I'm in love with this series now.
Okay.
So the book I just read is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. I'm going to say her name wrong. I apologize. Manansala. It's the first book in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series. Immediately I got pulled in. So Lily is our main character. She comes in. Her family has convinced her to come home to help with a family's Filipino restaurant. And as in any Filipino family, they're very, very close. Well, while she's there helping out, she's got a culinary degree. She's bringing it all together. As she's helping them out, her ex-boyfriend from high school comes in, and he is a review critic. And he is the meanest review critic in town. He reviews everybody horribly, and he has hit them pretty hard. And, of course, her aunt and her grandmother tell her, you have to be nice to him, even if he's rude. You must treat him well. So she goes out, and she is trying. There's a little snark in it, which makes me appreciate her quite a bit. She is trying. She even brings him her new Adobo crinkle cookies.
Ooh.
And then he falls forward, and she thinks he's messing with her, but he's not. He has just died. And, of course, she and her family are now the suspects. The entire restaurant gets shut down, and they're already hanging on by a thread. And she can't help herself but kind of play a little bit of a detective here with her best friend who runs a coffee shop next door. You can smell this book. Yeah. So if you've ever been to one of my favorite Filipino restaurants in town is Boniface's down in Grandview, you can smell the Filipino cuisine. You can smell the coffee and the chai tea explorations her friend's making. They go to all these different restaurants, and it's so well described. You don't get lost, though. It's not like suddenly I'm in a food journey. You're in the mystery, but it's just so well written. You're in the middle of those restaurants. You're right there with them. You fall in love with your main character. You fall in love with all her best friends. And her family. She has her ninongs, which I'm actually a ninong to my goddaughter. So that means godmother. And she calls her ninongs the calendar girls because their names are April, May, June, and July. And so because of their names, because of who they are there to watch her. Her parents died when she was young. They have become her extended family, and they discourage her, but also help her. It is the cutest book. Sort of a fun, get lost. I mean, a lot of people die. I seem to read a lot of books where a lot of people die before this is said and done. But you fall in love with her history, her story, how she got there, how she gets herself into trouble all the time. She's relatable, she's lovable, and if you don't know much about Filipino culture, this is a real opportunity to kind of get a taste of it. I didn't even mean to do that.
Look at what you did.
I can't wait for the second book. I can't wait for it. The audio was fantastic as well. So if you get nervous about reading books with words you don't know or foods or things, I highly suggest the audio on this one. So that again is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala.
That sounds great.
It was great.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on my list because that sounds like perfect for fall and winter, I think.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much. Yeah, it is. It's a really good read.
All right. It's going on my list. Terry, what have you, or no, it's not what you've been reading. Daisy is bringing some of her favorite books, I think.
Daisy, you're such a reader.
Yes. We, in the Pause for Reading program, we have readers of pretty much all levels, but commonly they're in about the 5 to 7-year-old range in 1st to 3rd grade. And Daisy is often asked about books that she might recommend that she would like to hear. So I've picked a couple, and she has approved them.
Aw, such a good
She
girl.
liked the titles and the premises for these two. So these are from the library website, and the first one is called Amazing Dogs by Laura Buller. And this one, of course, in the title, Amazing Dogs. Daisy's an amazing dog. So she thought that one was really up her alley. Yeah. So this one is about all of our dog friends who are friends to us, and they can do amazing things like rescue people. They can really do it all. So it kind of shows you all of the incredible things that dogs can do, the way that they help every day with the powerful senses that they have and their personalities. And read Amazing Dogs, and you'll find what else that they can do.
They've got so many skills. Their smells,
unbelievable.
They can read our feelings.
Yes.
That blows my mind.
And that one is perfect for 5 to 7-year-olds who are beginning to read with support. And it has lots of fun facts and diagrams and activities, just all kinds of things. And the second one she picked is called Messy Dog by John Grogan. Now, she picked this one, but she's not a very messy dog. She's actually very neat and tidy. But it had a cute story, so she picked this one for that reason. And basically the premise is that the mom in the story decides to surprise her daughter, Cassie, with some newly painted bedroom walls. And she's very careful to put the dog Marley in the garage. But as soon as her back is turned, Marley gets into the house to help. And by the time he's done, the messy dog is in need of a little help himself.
Oh, yes.
So his good intentions lead to a series of mishaps that you'll want to read about.
Isn't that how life goes?
Yeah. It kind of is.
Yeah.
And so this one is geared for kids who can read on their own, but just need a little bit of help.
Oh, that's great.
So those are the two that Daisy would recommend for our young readers.
Well, thank you, Terry, and thank you, Daisy, for those excellent
I
recommendations.
know, I think those are going to go on my list.
Well, I have one for you today, too.
Ooh.
And yes, I have been reading, actually finished The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. And I have been completely enthralled with her ever since I read Mexican Gothic a while back. And she is actually visiting Columbus later this month.
Really?
She is. She's going to be at CML as part of their big 150th anniversary celebration. But I am definitely going. I'm getting all of her books autographed to me. I'm very excited about it.
Always worth a line.
But this story it's a reimagining, not a straight retelling of the classic H.G. Wells, The Island of Dr. Moreau. It's told from alternating perspectives. First and foremost, Carlotta, who is the beautiful, intelligent, and frankly pretty naive daughter of Dr. Moreau. The second narrator is Montgomery Lawton. He serves as like the overseer for the estate. And he has his own really tragic backstory. He's divorced from his wife, and it's just really kind of broken him. He loved her way more than she loved him. He has a penchant for gambling and drinking away everything that he earns. But he's also a sympathetic character. But true to the original, the brilliant and also like legitimately egomaniacal Dr. Moreau is doing these, crazy, unethical experiments where he's, taking part human, part animal, turning them into hybrids.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, yeah, because that's just what you do, right?
Yes.
And he says this a lot, that he alone can perfect humanity and fix what God got wrong.
I feel that.
As one does. And then as time goes on, Carlotta witnesses that these hybrids are just truly suffering. And she begins to question the father that she always thought was infallible and always right and couldn't do anything wrong. And then you get a forbidden love interest who comes along, and then truly, disaster is just waiting to happen. But it really is like a slow burn of a book. But then the last third is just action-packed, mile a minute, cannot put it down.
I love a good setup. I like something that gets me there.
I do too. And this is set in like 19th century Mexico. So if you like historical fiction, but you also like kind of like fantasy horror, this will definitely be your jam. So It was mine. I really, really liked it. And Silvia Moreno-Garcia is just a really great writer. Everything she's written that I've read, I've really enjoyed.
I need more room on my lists. I have so many books on my lists.
I know. I was talking to my sister about that this morning.
If I didn't have to work at this library, I could just sit at home and read all day long.
Yeah,
I wouldn't need to do anything else.
All right.
Well, with that, I think we'll go into a commercial break, but we'll see you to find out more about Daisy after these messages.
Welcome back. This is Jayna McDaniel Browning filling in for Nicole, who's off on Girls Weekend.
I mean, I guess we can let her. I guess that's fine.
Every once in a while.
Sure, she can leave me.
We'll give her a tardy card.
Exactly. But Molly and I are here today with the wonderful Terri Lester and her beautiful, beautiful therapy dog, Daisy,
and
who
fairly,
we are really enjoying.
Nicole is missing out. We've got a dog in the studio, the sweetest dog in the world.
Yes, absolutely. and we're so glad that you're here, Terri. Thank you so much for coming and for bringing Daisy, because as you can tell, she's bringing joy to everyone, which I think is what she does in PAWS for Reading, which is this great program. Can you tell us a little bit about how Daisy became a therapy dog? How did you get involved in that?
Sure. First of all, Daisy is, for the people listening, she's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. She's what they call Blenheim White, which is kind of a reddish color, chestnut color and white. And she's about 6 years old. So I had been involved in pet therapy for many years before I had Daisy. First of all, through Capital Area Humane Society, which is now Columbus Humane. Used to have a pet visitation program, and I participated through that. And then I moved on to my own dogs and taking them to nursing homes and facilities. So I became interested in pet therapy at that point. And about a year and a half ago, we adopted Daisy through a rescue called All Species Adoption Program, based out of, I think, Cary, Ohio. And so we adopted her just with the intent of having a wonderful new pet. And I quickly found that she had wonderful personality, and that she
really
would
does.
Yes.
that she loved everyone, all people, all children, all other pets. And having my background, I knew that she would be perfect for this. So we got involved by going into a national organization called Alliance of Therapy Dogs. And it's a wonderful organization. It's a nonprofit, all volunteer organization. They have about 15,000 members and about 16,000 dogs. And they're located around the country. And they certify your pet to be a pet therapy dog.
Okay.
And so she had to go through some paperwork and testing and that sort of thing. Therapy dogs, they're basically what they're looking for is temperament and how they respond in different situations and how they do when they're approached by people and that sort of thing. And then they become certified through a series of tests. And so she went through with flying colors.
I can see why. I mean, having met her and been with her this morning, she is super chill and friendly and just really, really sweet.
And it's amazing. She came out of like I say, a rescue. So that's a perfectly fine place to find the perfect dog for pet therapy. She just couldn't be better at it.
And those eyes. Those eyes, they look into your deep into your
Huge brown eyes. Yes.
So pretty.
They are, and there's so much love in them. You all don't realize I've spent my entire time on the show staring at Daisy the whole time. Gage, if other people would like to stare at Daisy, is there a way they can do that right now?
Yeah, they can go to our Facebook at My967, and you could see her on the stream.
It is the cutest thing I have ever seen, Gage.
She actually has a very beautiful picture on the website when Pause for Reading comes up during the week and you register for it. She has her picture on the page, and those brown eyes just are huge. You won't be able to miss her.
It's the ears, though. It's the curliness on the ears too that you walk in the door. I saw her, and I think I immediately went for them.
And that's the whole idea behind pet therapy. Now, pet therapy is different than a service dog. I commonly get questions about that. Pet therapy dog is meant to bring the smiles and the joy and the emotional connection, whereas the service dog is trained for a specific purpose, for a specific person to do tasks and help, make their life easier.
Right.
But not for Daisy. She is meant to go out into the community and volunteer and go into different settings where a connection is needed.
And Terri, for somebody who hasn't been to a Pause for Reading program, can you tell them what to expect at one of those?
Absolutely. It's a seasonal program. They have sessions in fall, winter, spring, and summer at each of the branch libraries. And it is for the young readers to practice reading aloud. A lot of times children when they're first learning to read, they are a little bit shy or stumble over their words. This is a way for them to connect with the dog because the dog is non-judgmental. And they, can feel comfortable reading to the dog. And a lot of times it helps with focus, too. I've read that, children who have problems reading can sometimes have trouble focusing. So kids will focus longer on a dog. You've got that connection. So they read one-on-one for a 15-minute period to the dog and me. I'll be there too. And readers can bring along their own favorite story, or they can do assigned reading from school, or they can grab a book off the library shelf to read to the pooch.
That's great. And I know you already mentioned this, but I want to bring it up again. Make sure that you register in advance for this program. Pre-registration is required. And we have programs coming up at each of our branches. So no matter where you are in
If
Delaware
you miss
County,
one, don't worry. You can get registered on another because they do fill up pretty fast. People are very excited to read. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about I could practice reading a little bit with Daisy.
And I want to stress, too, that it's for every ability, every confidence level, every age. I've had children that came with their parents who were toddlers, and the parents wanted the child to be more comfortable interacting with a dog.
Yes.
And so they, the parent read and the child stroked the dog. Yeah. And I've had older children who weren't confident at all in reading, and so the child didn't read at all. The parent read. So there's lots of different, it don't feel like, oh, my child's not going to read. In that setting, you can read, and the child may just enjoy stroking the dog. So
yes.
That's important for them to know.
Well, thanks so much.
Yes.
Terri.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. I think we have just about a minute left. Molly, what do we have coming up?
There's one thing I really do want to point out happening tomorrow. So all of you who were like me over Labor Day and did a house around the house project, we painted the walls and put up a bookshelf. We have books that we need to get rid of. Our friends of the library have a book drop-off event happening tomorrow at Delaware, Maine from 8:30 to 11, where you can pull in and drop off your books to donate. This is a great time to get them. It's so much easier. We're so appreciative for our friends. Just remember, when you leave your books with our friends of the library, you're donating to the library. We'll sell those books at a really great price at upcoming sales. And somebody's going to get joy from your book, and we're going to be able to support programs at the library. So thanks in advance for leaving your books with our friends.
Indeed.
Very excited about that one.
Well, I think that is going to bring up the end of the show for us. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you to Terri and Daisy. We were so thrilled to have you here.
Absolutely.
And we will see you in the stacks.